My name's Dr. Nick and I'm a physical therapist with Sound Pain Alliance. Today, I'm going to show you a follow-along routine that you can do to help treat lower back pain. It'll start with the easiest exercises first and gradually progress to more challenging ones as we go. I want you to follow along with each exercise, doing 10 reps of each and then progressing to the next exercise as tolerated. If at any point you get to a spot where you can't complete the exercise due to pain, then I want you to stop there and just use the exercises beforehand and come back a little bit later and try again, and over time you will gradually progress through this program. So, Raina, we're going to start by doing some diaphragmatic breathing in order to relax your nervous system and decrease your sensitivity to pain. And so we're going to start in this position, lying on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the table. We're also going to clasp our hands and put them on our belly to use them as a cue for the movement of our diaphragm. From here, all that we're going to do is take 10 nice deep breaths through your belly, letting your hands kind of rise with each inhalation and then come down with each exhalation, making sure to breathe through our nose the entire time. And so we're going to take 10 nice deep breaths, with each breath being nice and slow and relaxed. You'll feel yourself kind of opening up and your pain starting to decrease. I want you to pause the video and do 10 repetitions of this exercise before moving on to the next one. For the next exercise, we're going to do some lower trunk rotations to help get the spine moving and lubricate the joints and synovial fluid. So, Raina, what we're going to do is, starting in this same exact position with your back flat on the table, knees bent, and feet also in contact with the table. All that you're going to do is you're going to kind of let your knees fall out towards one side, kind of like windshield wipers. Just going as far as is tolerated before we move over to the other side. And so you're going to go back and forth 10 times on each side in order to kind of get your spine warmed up for some of the next exercises that we're going to do. Just go as far as tolerated. If you have pain at the end ranges of motion, then you can stop just before that. Now I want you to do 10 repetitions of this exercise and then we'll continue. For the next exercise, we're going to do some hook-lying lumbar traction, which is similar to a decompression that you might get in a real physical therapy session. And so, we're going to start in this same position, lying on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the table. From there, we're going to take our hands and put them at the very tops of our thighs, right where our thighs meet our pelvis. From there, we're going to press down until we feel our spine start to relax and elongate. It's very important that we relax our abdominal muscles in order to make sure that we can stretch the spine without being limited by the musculature. And so, all that we're going to do is you're going to kind of relax fully and push down for about 30 seconds. Okay, so push here for about 30 seconds and then we'll continue. So now that we've finished our warm-up, we're going to start by working on some abdominal stabilization exercises, with the first exercise being a transverse abdominis contraction. And so, we're going to start in this same position, lying on our backs with our knees bent and our feet flat on the table. From here, we're going to squeeze our abdominals for 3 seconds and then take a break, repeating this 10 times in a row. But here's the key. Each time that we squeeze our abdominal muscles, I want you to draw your belly button in towards your spine and flatten your back against the table. This is going to help to engage your transverse abdominis muscle, which wraps all the way from your belly button around to your spine and helps to stabilize the lumbar spine. And so, making sure that we keep our upper body nice and relaxed. We're not breathing through our neck or our rib cage. All that we're going to do is squeeze through the core, draw our belly button in towards the spine. We'll hold for 3 seconds and do that 10 times in a row. Why don't we go ahead and give that a shot? Yep, that's looking great. And we'll repeat that 10 times before moving on to the next exercise. Now that we've got our transverse abdominis activation, we're going to apply that to our next exercise, which is the reverse march. And so, Raina, we're going to start in a tabletop position, which means that we're going to bring kind of our thighs up to a nice vertical position with our lower legs horizontal. While maintaining a little bit of an abdominal contraction, all that you're going to do is alternate tapping one heel on the table and then the other one. I want you to make sure that we don't put all of the weight of your foot into the table, which will turn off our abdominal muscles. Instead, we're just going to tap the table before returning to the starting position. So why don't you go ahead and give that a try? That looks good. We're keeping our abdominals engaged and making sure that our back doesn't want to arch off the table. That looks great, and we'll do about 10 reps on each side before continuing on. All right, for our next exercise, we're going to do a little bit of a more advanced application of our core stabilization with the dead bug exercise. Now, we call this exercise a dead bug because the starting position is literally like an upside down dying bug. And so, we're going to start in that same tabletop position where we bring our legs up, and then the only change for this exercise is that we're also going to bring our arms up towards the ceiling. And from here, we're going to do that same motion as the last exercise, bringing one leg down and back up. But here's the tricky part. Now we're going to add the arms, and with each repetition, we're going to move the opposite arm up towards our head while we bring down the opposite leg as well. So there's a little bit of a coordination aspect. Okay, we'll go back and forth and do about 10 on each side on this exercise as well, and making sure that our abdominals stay engaged and we don't let our back arch off the table. For our final exercise for this video, we're going to work on some glute and hip stabilization with a bridge exercise. To perform the bridge exercise, we're going to start in this same position, this time with your arms down by your sides. We're going to start by getting a little bit of an activation of our abdominal muscles, and then from there, we're going to lift your hips off of the table until our body comes up into a straight line. You'll hold this top position for about 3 seconds before returning to the starting position, making sure not to arch our back at the top and keeping our abdominals stabilized the entire time. If at any time during this program you run into an exercise that is too difficult or is causing you pain, I want you to stop where you are and just do the exercises prior to that point. You can then return to this video a few days later and attempt to go on to the next exercise, and over time you'll be able to work on progressing towards completing the entire thing. There will be a copy of these exercises in the description of the video that contains instructions that you can review. That's going to do it for our lower back pain exercises. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.